Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unschooling Lifestyle. Today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Julie Schaible, and her and I connected through one of the many unschooling groups that I'm in. So, but what I love about Julie is that she focuses on helping people with finances. And when you are a home education family or any type of family, it doesn't matter whether you go to school or you unschool or traditional homeschooling, finances are very, very key. If you want one parent to stay home with you, it's super important. So I am going to let Julie introduce herself, and then we're going to get started as to how she can help you and finances and what we can learn from her today. So here we go. Go ahead,
Hi,
Julie.
hi guys. Thank you for that amazing introduction. And I am so excited to partner with you and just, help other families understand another avenue of bringing in income or
Yeah.
getting their budget in place. And I am on a mission to bring families joy through finances, whatever that may look like. Society has mainly taught people to be quiet about money while instilling fear into us, if that makes sense, while
Mhm.
keeping us uneducated about the subject.
Yes.
When you think about school, they don't teach us about money.
No.
We're taught calculus. We watch our kids struggle
Yes.
and not think they're good enough because they can't do these hard, unreasonable math problems unless you're going to be an engineer, right?
Yes. Yes. So true. So true.
Where the main thing we should be teaching, families and kids is, that 18-year-old kid who puts $200 away a month um,
Mhm.
will have, $2 million or so at retirement. How powerful would that be if school taught every 18-year-old that?
Exactly. And nowadays, I think, some places are very, they have like adulting classes, for, young college students that they kind of go back into this concept. So, but tell me how did you get on this path? Because I know finances for me, my personal experience was always been very taboo per se. Like I know my parents had credit card debt, and that's something that my mom still talks about. She still talks about it. And so it really has been like debt was always there. It was always a part. So I didn't really think about how to break that cycle per se until much later in life. So how do you come onto this path?
So this is a good question. And I was very uneducated about money growing up, extremely. And, for everyone, every side of the pillar looks different. For
Yeah.
me, my dad had a well drilling business, and my brothers were 10 and 12 years older. So, as the oops baby, money looked a lot different from my parents when I came along. They were a
Mhm.
lot older and, I was the spoiled little baby girl. All I seen is that whatever I wanted, within reason, I was handed. And
Okay.
I always thought I seen my mom using her credit card all the time.
Okay.
I thought it was monopoly money, right? No one, we don't stop
Yeah.
to think what our kids are actually thinking when
Yes.
whether it's your credit card,
Yes.
whether it's your debit card, right? They're just seeing this piece of plastic go into the machine and
Uh-huh.
they're thinking mom and dad has everything.
Yes, exactly. Or that they're like, well, just order on Amazon, like
Right.
there's no like
It's
real,
only $20.
yes, it's only $20. It's only $30. The next thing you
Right.
know, you're like in the hundreds, right?
And the
So,
next day they want something else or
mhm.
so and growing up we vacationed a lot. We went to Disney, we went to Myrtle Beach. We did a lot of that. So after I lost my dad to colon cancer right before my 12th birthday, and I
Oh,
lost my
okay.
mom to colon cancer when I was 18. Well,
Wow.
actually, I apologize. I was 19, just turning 19. But so when I was left as an orphan, we had a financial advisor who never even taught me anything at 19 years old. So unfortunately, I blew my inheritance.
Yeah.
In my 20s, just thinking money was this, thing that would just come around. And I was very successful. I was working at Victoria's Secret. I had just come back from doing a Disney internship when I found out I was going to lose my mom. And working at Victoria's Secret seasonally, I went through their management program and I rose it to a store manager. I had it all together. I was making an incredible income and, still struggling financially because I just had a shopping addiction, right? Still
Yeah.
didn't understand money.
Yes,
And I
absolutely.
still had this inheritance. So
Yeah.
I just wasn't wrapping my head around, wasn't saving. And I had met this guy who asked me, if you had no Visa, no MasterCard, no mortgage, no car payment, and $500,000 saved, how would you feel?
Oh my goodness.
And that was powerful for
That's
me.
very, yes.
And at age 25, I had always grown up sooner than my other friends. And
Mm.
I had this boyfriend, now my husband, that we're getting serious, but we fought every day about money. Like I came home with a pretty pink Victoria's Secret bag, and he just was like, this girl has no concept. So um, I believed
Very
that this
familiar
door
with it.
opened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I seen these concepts and I was fired up to correct an injustice at that moment of why is no one teaching this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My life could look completely different. And, if I would have just known a few simple money concepts. And the truth is that most people, including myself, and the statistics show middle America, we don't have financial advisors. We're not going to sit with someone to pay hundreds of dollars to try to get some advice. We're trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, you need a certain amount of money to be able to have a financial advisor look at you and say,
Right.
sure, let me open my doors and let me teach you or let me handle your money. There are minimums, right?
Absolutely.
For them to be able to work with you. So as you get going on this path, what are the concepts that you find that are most important for someone like a student, people that are just, trying to find their way in the world.
So I believe first it's through education.
Yeah.
Um, we're out to help everyday ordinary families. I'm not looking for the rich. I'm looking for everyone who just needs to start saving $25 a month for an IRA, who needs to get out of debt. So the
Yeah.
first thing I want to do is really I want to sit down and I want to educate people. I want to make sure that it makes sense to them before we move forward. I don't ever want to make a sale. I want people to see the value in what I'm bringing and then me be able to help them. So if they do see value of me being able to help them, our first tool is really a complimentary financial needs analysis.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, most companies charge anywhere from 800 to 1500 bucks on average for this document, and we do it for free. And in turn, I asked that, hey, if this makes sense, could you refer me to a few people?
Yeah.
I have a cure, I truly believe, for financial cancer. And who do you care most about that you want to save?
Yeah. It's so, so true. And when I started this process of asking you, I was, of asking you to do an interview, I really was thinking of families that because we both educate at home, we both travel. Julie is a Disney person. I think you have called yourself a Disney addict, right? Or
Mhm.
something like that. And
Yes.
so we're gonna touch on that. But it seems to me now that of course it's very important for families at home that educate at home because we choose to be with our children. And there is no greater joy than being at home when the biggest steps happen, first steps, first words, major,
Absolutely.
making connections. So I came, I sought Julie for this because I wanted for if you are a person or a family that have the desire to educate at home, but for some reason your finances are not letting you, I'm hoping that this interview and Julie's information will help you see like a glimpse of what, what maybe what you are missing, because I know, but it seems to me that now it's so very relevant to everyone, not just people that want to educate at home. So how do you connect with people the most? How do people find you?
A good question. So, um, to kind of piggyback what you were almost just saying before answering that, with homeschooling, I just kind of wanted to address
Yes.
that. Yes, I am. I probably forgot in my intro, but I do homeschool. I have a 5-year-old and I have an 8-month-old. So kind of just what you said, not wanting to miss those first moments or
Yes.
anything. That is the joy about this business, is that I am able to pick my own hours. I am able to, put God and my family first.
Mhm.
And then everything else falls into place. And, for those parents who are looking to have that extra stream of income, we are in that nationwide expansion right now of hiring. So you're already teaching your kids. So you have a passion for helping and you have a passion for educating. I can teach you how to educate others on money concepts so that you can fulfill that dream and desire to raise your own babies. Back in the day, that is what the mother did, right? But society, because of money,
Yes.
most parents now both need to work.
Yes. So true. So true.
And the scary thing is, and then we're putting the schools, and I'm sure you would agree with me, and your unschooling, coaching and teaching families, is the school day is designed for the government to keep you both at work and them to decide how they're gonna raise and mold your children. So
Mhm.
this is possible to do. And I just had a hint on that. And then I forgot your last part of the question. So I apologize. It was kind of like,
No, no worries, because I love this, because it's just so true. I remember the day, and this is not not to say that that I'm anti-school per se, because if my kids chose to go to school, I would support them 100%, just like whatever you want, we'll do that. But I remember from the days that we were at school, it was such a long day. It was such a long day for them that by the time we got home, we didn't have any time to connect. And
mm,
that is something that we and I personally realized during the pandemic, right? When everything kind of shut down, I realized that we had no connection. We did not had a real connection. And I was like, wow, this is not right. I'm like,
right,
this is not, and I have met other people that they have said that, that they have said like, oh, I just can't be with my children all day. And I'm like, but that's the most beautiful thing in the world. Why can't you? Now, you know, I own everybody, we all have to work through stuff and stuff, but in a nutshell, I think being with them is the most beautiful thing you could do. So as you navigate, so no, were you always wanted to homeschool, right? Is that right?
so yeah, so um I didn't know I always wanted to homeschool.
Okay,
So
okay.
I agree with you. The pandemic, my son was still small, but that's kind of what inspired us to be in financial coaches. Everything went to the world of Zoom.
Yeah,
So my business dramatically changed, that I didn't have to physically get in the car and drive
I've
to an
got that's
appointment.
beautiful.
So I guess I convinced my husband to buy an RV and go
Yeah.
chase the sun.
We're just having
Expand.
that because I want to come back to that too. Okay.
Okay, so stay focused. So what
Yeah, I
inspired me
know.
to homeschool is that, I guess through meeting other parents and seeing the freedom that they had. And not only that, being able to mold your children and spend that time. I think it was really great how you just said, a lot of people that I meet say, oh my gosh, you're amazing. I could never homeschool my kids. I don't like them that much. I couldn't spend,
Yes,
all of you moms or dads listening, you've heard the objection that
yes,
they kind of like, they're kind of like hitting you a little bit like, I couldn't spend that much time with my
yeah,
kids. Or, and,
yeah,
and sometimes you have to like humble yourself and step back and be like, okay, sometimes jealousy gets the best of people's
yeah,
tongue,
yeah.
and they say things that it's just kind of like a bounce back. But um if not, then you really need to be the reason you need a homeschool, because you need to mold them. They are a mini you. You need to mold them into that. So, no, I wasn't always thought about homeschooling, but through the exposure and the RV community, and it was a no-brainer for me that I was gonna give it a
Yeah.
try, and I wasn't gonna give it a try. I was gonna learn to be successful. And as long as my son, just like you said, if my kids wanted to go to school, I'd let them.
Yeah.
Same with my son. I want to show him what I can give him. But if there becomes a day where he's like, Mom, I want to go to school, we'll
Yeah.
explore that. But right now, I can mold him into what our family values are. And I'm sure all you other parents too. I mean, it's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I mean, once you have your family values and you share that with them, they just make their own choices, right? And they just they learn by example. So I think that's very important. I know budgeting and stuff like that when we travel, we talk about that all the time, so it's always there. So it's not excluded from their life, and put back in it when they are 18 or when they become technically an adult. It has always been there. So that's the beauty of living, right, learning through living. And speaking of learning through living, and I apologize everyone because I'm a little all over the place right now because I've been thinking about this interview for quite a while. So my questions, they just kind of like come in, and then you say something, I'm like, yes, yes, that. So, I'm trying to stay focused here, but this is my man gen aspect. So, but learning through living. So let's talk about the Disney aspect. So what comes first, RV or Disney?
I always loved Disney. As I
Okay.
said, I did an internship down there out of college, but the RV story really came first.
Okay, okay. And where are you right now?
So I am in Michigan.
Okay,
Usually we are in Florida, but we did things a little backwards, which is okay. We're getting
okay,
ready to leave in the next 2 weeks or so.
okay.
But yeah, when the pandemic happened, I convinced my husband, we had never RV'd in our life. I convinced him to buy an RV, and that's get licensed in Florida, and that's go chase the sun, and that's try to build a business down there, right? I could do everything remote. We had little to lose and a lot to gain.
Okay.
Um, we have to get uncomfortable, right? You have to get uncomfortable with
You.
wanting to homeschool to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we went to Florida for 2 or 3 months. We told our neighbor watching our house, and we have a little zoo here, not really, but we have a lot of animals.
Okay. I love it.
We took the 3 dogs with us, left all the cats, the saltwater tank, and the reality was we stayed down there 6 months and we loved
Wow.
it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then we were back that October, and not realizing we were pregnant.
Oh, wow.
That
Okay.
was kind of a surprise once we decided to go on the road for Christmas and all that. And we became Florida residents. And that same night, actually, we went and got Disney season passes.
Okay.
And it was amazing to be able to go to the parks 5-6 days a week, or we would homeschool there, right? We all know we can walk around Epcot if we have the time and teach in
Yes.
each country, or teach our kids about gratitude,
Mhm.
just simply going to the dollar store and picking out some Disney items and teaching Kai to go give them to a little girl or a little boy, creating that magic. So
Mhm.
there's all kinds of homeschooling opportunities, as you homeschooling parents know, and those looking to get into it. It's
Yeah.
not just about your history lesson and your math
Yes,
lesson.
for sure. Hmm.
It's teaching all those little things, or buying someone a popcorn, or so Disney has been an amazing experience for us. It's great for me to connect with other moms and
Okay.
families too, and just build my business, build my homeschooling inspiration, and fill my heart with joy.
That's so nice though. So how do you and your husband handle your business? So I see like two aspects. So you help people, you can give them an analysis or their finances and try to find out how they can best how they can improve. Am I going on the right direction? So,
Yes.
and then there's another business aspect that I have seen you, post or share with others. So there's the, learn about your own finances and then help others do the same thing, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you and your husband like divide the task, or how do you guys work together, to build those two components of it?
Yes, I love that. That's a great question. And just like homeschooling, learning to work full time with your partner is a bunch of trial and error too, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and most people would say, I don't know how you work with your significant other. I could never. And I'm like, you could if, the rewards were there.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. So obviously first is communication. Learning how to communicate with each other. I was used to delegating and running a multi-million dollar team at Victoria's Secret as a store manager. And he's more of an introvert. He worked at Ford. He worked on trucks and that kind of stuff. So, it was interesting early on in the business. We've been here for 9 years now, but now it looks like I do a lot of the recruiting and looking for the people who want to work with us, looking for the
Okay.
people who want more freedom, more money, more time with their kids. And he does a lot. He helps out with training appointments
Okay.
too, but his primarily role has really changed to helping businesses with 401k plans and helping to do appointments as I start to get slammed, being able to jump on with other people. But my passion is truly in the teaching and,
Okay.
recruiting and bringing new people on, because to show someone a different side of the light is unbelievable. Most people are so hesitant because there are so many multi-level marketings out there, and I would never bash any of them. I have successful friends in all the industries, but
Okay.
this is truthfully so different. This is like real estate. You have agents and you have brokers, and here, the beauty is that you can come in part-time and learn a new skill and reinvent yourself.
Okay. That is fascinating. So have you always worked with the same company? Do you or have you been with someone else different or
No, we have been here for 9 years. Date one, I planted my flag. I just, like I said, I was blown away by really by not learning these financial concepts. And then
yeah,
I was truthfully blown away as I started to meet with people and learn this business. There's still an injustice out there with a lot of companies. They do what's right for their pocketbook and not necessarily what's right for the clients.
yeah,
So, my passion just like again came from, never being taught and how hurtful that was to me. And
hmm,
I just never want someone else, if I can throw them a life raft and say, hey, my specialty in life is teaching people to be
yeah.
financially independent, teaching people to go for it. That's what I want my story to be about.
Oh, I love that. So if people wanted to do like the financial analysis just on their finances, is that just a one call thing, or do you have or is it a process like, three phone calls or a Zoom meeting, or what do they need to get started with that?
So there will be two links that will give you to post into the comments. One, you can
Yes.
watch a financial house video of kind of what we would go through, and the other would be for the opportunity to work with us. And at the end of the 20-minute video, it'll give you a few different options. But to evaluate your financial house and do the financial needs analysis, it's usually like a 30-minute Zoom call, 30 to
Okay.
45 minutes.
Okay.
Super simple. I'll walk you through a couple questions, and we're gonna in most cases eliminate years off of debt, saving a tremendous amount of interest with no more money out of your pocket. I'm
Yeah.
going to teach you about investing versus savings, really making your money work harder for you, and making sure you're on track for retirement. What does that look like? What do we need to
Like
save more?
that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And through all of that, I mean, getting that financial needs analysis, my clients tell me the financial stress is taken away so much off the relationship,
Yes.
right? When you can have someone else come in and mediate and tell you, hey, we need to cut back here, or what if we tried, excuse me, to do this differently, or hey, high five, you guys are doing a phenomenal job, you keep doing what you're doing. um we need that. Just like there's beach body coaches out there that coach us how to get our bodies stronger, or there's all kinds of.
Yeah, I think definitely your financial health, should be a priority. And I don't think we see that. We don't take that into consideration all the time until it really hit us. But I know for us sometimes, like the end of the year, the end of like right after Christmas, January. Oh my goodness. Sometimes those months can be like, Michigan, they're gray and dark blue, and it just all comes together. You're like, oh, we spend too much money. So what do you see when you as you have evaluated different, different finances for different people? Is there a common like a recurrent expense that you see that people tend to cut back and helps them out? Is there like something that like, oh yeah, we see like they spend too much money on coffee, or they spend too much money, is there a common, I know everyone is different, but is there something that, you know, you'd say, oh, I see that a lot, and that's one of the, you know,
So I
tips?
think, kind of to hit on that, a lot of the commonalities are, of course, when it's crucial to create a budget. And I tell people that just because you're on a budget doesn't mean you don't have money. I think a lot of times, we're afraid to say no to that friend who wants to go out for that $90 dinner and drinks because we're on a budget. She's going to think we don't have money. When reality, a budget just means we're doing things differently with our money. We're saving
I love that.
for retirement, we're saving for a vacation. And that's a taboo subject that I teach people, that a budget's a good thing. It shows that you're financially responsible, right? So
Yes, I really
when
like
I,
that.
thank you, when I help a family create a budget, and then I have them go through it for 2 or 3 months,
Okay.
it's very eye-opening to see for them personally where their money is going, right? We all get our taxes back and it's like, I made that much money last year, right?
Yeah,
Shock syndrome. So the coffees add up, they do.
they do.
People don't realize the coffees, they don't realize the average cigarette smoker who goes in to buy a pack of cigarettes buys a pop, buys a bag of chips, so that
Right.
$8 pack of cigarettes turned into a $15 adventure.
Mm-hmm,
And how
mm-hmm.
many times is that cigarette smoker go and buy those cigarettes a week, right? Or how many it's so it's between those little stops that we're making that we don't realize how fast that money's adding up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, too, in this day and age, I talk to a lot of people about cutting their cable bill,
Okay. Yes.
and finding what do you love to watch, and how can we get that app cheaper, or how can we scale down, because when I see that people are paying $150 a month for cable, I'm like,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness, yeah. And now I think nowadays I was just looking at the library in Michigan, one of the libraries in Michigan, and they have so many things, so many like video streaming places that you can get for free at the library.
wow, that's great. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, like they have like Canopy, and you can rent movies there and stuff. Obviously, you just gotta have your library number and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more of a process per se. So it really depends, but you can get a lot of good movies for free. So, and if you're old school, if you have a DVD player, they have them at the library too.
I love it. I'll have to check that out and recommend that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So it's just so I love that, that you help them find a different way, not necessarily to eliminate what they enjoy, but rather find a better way. And that it's just such a positive way to look at money.
Right. And I was going to say with that, like you said, it's not eliminating, but it's deciding as a couple, right?
Yeah.
That, hey, I have an extra, or it's deciding as a couple, I should say, yep, my dogs just blew through the baby gate. That moment of distraction should, It's finding out how much you and your partner are comfortable spending a week. And he still needs to have his money. She still needs to have her money. But
Yeah.
what does that look like? Is it $100 a week? Is it $50 a week? Where is that special spot where it's, if I want to save my money and I want to go buy Disney stuffed animals, which drives my husband insane, then I can do that. And he can't give me slack for it. And if he wants to go and buy cigarettes and his Coke and whatever.
Right.
Right. I know. um, I can't get on him for that, right? Because that's
Yes.
his money and that's my money. So it's having your money together, but then it's having that little bit that we kind of agreed upon that's, hey, this is, and of course we're not like, we don't get down to the nitty gritty of like, hey, you can't buy that. But it's kind of like that play money where,
Yeah.
we all have to have. If
Yeah.
if having Starbucks every day is your thing, that's okay. But then you have to give your husband his thing too. And you still have to be on track for what does your debt look like? What is the plan? What does retirement look like? You have to have those other things going too. So
Yes.
it's just creating that plan and being in communication.
That is so amazing though, because that really, speaks to the need when we're together as a family, like all the time. We have to be able to meet everyone's needs, and making sure the finances are there just as well as the emotional aspect and the physical aspect. It just is just as important as anything else. So I really love that. And I'm just so happy that people get to learn that, because I feel like a lot of us sometimes are afraid of even like looking. And I know when I don't want to look into something, when I've been spending too much money, I don't look. I don't even look. And it's just like, I'm like, well, why am I doing that? Like, why am I doing that? I don't understand it. But it's definitely like it plays a game on your mind though. So I
Right.
really like that. So let's switch over to the other aspect of the business aspect. How does that look for people if they wanted to be more involved into making extra money? If somebody was starting to homeschool, and trying to stay home, or, perhaps leave their job, maybe cut a few hours and try to split their time. How does that look like for them?
So it's obviously having a conversation with me, exploring the opportunity, and then coming aboard with us. You're usually in training for the first 30 to 45 days,
Okay.
and we do have a paid training bonus. And that first month, we're going to help you get your state license. You have to get a license to work with us.
Okay.
And I'm going to teach you how easy this business is in all aspects. You don't have to be good with numbers, and you don't have to be good with finances.
Okay.
That's the beauty is we have a really great duplication system. So, if you love helping others and, it makes sense to you, I can teach you how to do this, right? Um, and, the rest really comes very easily, all the other aspects, I guess you would say. So it's just a matter of, making the decision to, get in contact with me. That's chat about the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then, you come on board with us. We're going to do your background check and get you going and give you a really great system and show you success here.
Yeah. And those first, when you say the paid training, or the training, that's like 30 to 40 days, is it a couple hours a day? Is it a couple hours a week? Or,
Good
you know,
question. Good question. So we take people's spare time, so 5 to 8 hours a week, and I take people part-time.
okay.
Part-time is like 10 to 15 hours a week. Uh, Part-time is probably an extra 15 to 3,500 a month.
Okay.
Spare time is probably about 1,500 a month. And then, down the road, you can transition to full-time with us. We're opening agencies nationwide. So
Okay.
full-time is probably about 30, 35 hours a week. But, there is a strong six-figure income there that you can transition to. So what's great is there is no ceiling on where you can go here, but there's also no pressure on how fast you have to go. So you can come in, like you said, I have a lot of moms that I work with
Okay.
who commit to the 5 to 8 hours a week and getting going. It's scary and trying to shuffle their time. And then what they end up finding, most of them, is that they love it. They get in front of a few people and they see their reactions, and it's, they're getting thanked. And then
Yeah.
they start finding a little bit more time. And then, sometimes it makes sense to transition away from that part-time job, or, that
Yeah.
full-time job, and be present with your family,
Yes.
and that's the beauty here. And, having a passive income is great too, right? So, when you can get paid for things that you did a long time ago and your
Yeah.
clients are happy, and then you're still making money. I mean, and it's great to be able to, now with the world of Zoom, I don't have to drive to my satellite office in Evansville, Indiana. I have teams in Minnesota, I have teams in Florida, Michigan, Virginia, Indiana, because the world of Zoom, I am always available.
I
You
love
know, my people always come first. My family, my friends know any plans are ish with
it.
me, because this is where my passion is. This is what allows me to do the things that I love too, right? As be present with my family. My kids are my why.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as you navigate that for, for anybody looking into homeschooling or unschooling as they come into this world, you know, having that at the top of at the top of whatever list, or, always present is so important, because um they're just, it's a good, if you're already feeling the nudge to move into that direction, there are different ways. And this is why I wanted to talk to Julie. So it was just so important for me to try to like open those horizons. It's not just about education per se as to what your children will learn, but how everything will impact your life as a family. And that's the most, such a beautiful structure. But it- just to wrap up as to the licensing, is that so you take a test, right? You take a test, a state, is it per state, right? Because every state is different.
So it's 20 hours of classroom time,
Okay.
and we're going to help you with all that. You can do the classroom online, you can go in person, whatever works best for you. We have a really great portal set up that's going to give you practice exams just like the real test. So if you're
Okay.
like me, who's awful at tests, there's hope. um, so we're going to help you take that test every single step of the way. And then what it looks like in order to be in business in other states is just applying for a non-resident license. And it's usually anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks. And then I
Okay.
can do business in other states.
Okay. That's doesn't sound too bad though. And the products that you manage is insurance, right? Am I
We do insurance and we do investments.
okay?
So that's a side of the business I also love. Insurance, investments.
Okay.
We help with mortgages too, and
Okay.
teaching people how to really get the most out of their mortgage loan. And then of course there's a few other things. We're all about saving people money. So, you
Okay.
know, there's a few other avenues too, but those are our main ones.
Okay, that sounds really cool though. I was gonna ask you something and I just lost my train of thought. But like I said, I've been thinking about this a lot. So everything is just like it gets jumbled in my mind
I'm
though.
excited to be doing this. I know it took us a minute to get it, get the
Yeah,
time.
it took us a minute. So that's why it's been like I'm just like I just want to ask her everything though. So I apologize, guys. But I think do you think anything do you have any tips for anyone that wants to get started, perhaps working with you? Like, any tips or and for anyone that wants to switch their financial situation, what would you say?
Don't think about it too much. Don't read into it too much, because I'll tell you, I do interviews all the time, and so many people count themselves out because of the fear.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fear is always going to be there with anything,
Mhm.
but you can do this if you have that voice inside of you like, hey, I can connect with Julie, I can vibe with her, I see where she's going, I want that, I want to be able to be with my family, my kids. Reach out,
Yeah.
The worst mistake you can make is listen to that little guy inside your head or girl that's saying, you can't do this, you're not good enough, or you're not good with numbers, or look at your own finances. You're a train wreck. I was a train wreck,
I
you
think
know?
I want to say we have all been there, you guys. So,
Right.
I
Yes.
know there has been times where I remember not knowing, or getting a paycheck and having to send that all to credit cards at one point and
Right.
being left with $30 for 2 weeks. It's like the most horrible experience you could imagine, but fear, like Julie's saying, will keep you from doing a lot of things that in reality maybe are not that scary. So,
Right.
it's just so
Right.
powerful. This is so powerful. I am so happy to have come in contact with you and then just doing this. So to give people a little glimpse of what it looks like, as they assess their situation and stuff like that. So, don't be afraid, you guys. Listen to Julie.
Yes, I love it, and I would love to throw out there too, so I know Julietta's gonna put some links in the bottom,
Yes.
for whoever watches the, financial house video to kinda see how we put a financial house together. It's only about 20 minutes. At the end, you can kinda pick a road if you're interested, if you're not, but, upon leaving your email address, I will send you a How Money Works for Kids book. I will email it over. So, what better way? You have nothing to lose. Look and see exactly how to build a financial house. But then I will email over that document where it's a fun document, but you can do a little, seminar, a little teaching with your kids and start teaching them how money works. It's never too young to start. It's great for any age group. And I think that's a powerful tool.
Yeah, I really think though, because everything, learning about money it is just so vital for everything that we do. I mean, it revolves around, it's everywhere really. So, yeah, so we will put all of Julie's links in the description of the video, and then Julie actually answers some questions that are a little bit more thought out and more in order. So we're going to put those as a post in our blog on our website. So we'll have that link for that as well. And then I believe during the RV, as you get ready to go back into the RV, are you doing YouTube videos as well? Are you documenting your journey, right, too? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I am getting that up and going, to start that journey. Um, so yeah, I don't have that link for that yet, but,
Yes. But
if you
I just wanted to
yes,
see
thank you.
that was I on the right path? Like did I
Yes,
read that somewhere? Okay. So we will update the link to Julie's YouTube video
thank
so
you.
you can follow her, as she makes her way back to Florida in the RV, and then her Disney adventures too. Because I have been to Disney once before and I have never felt so overwhelmed. And I was so happy because I was with another person that worked at Disney, and my friend Lindsay, and she was so good. We went to Magic Kingdom and she's like, come here, go left, go right, stay here, don't move, and I was like, okay, okay, okay. But I was very overwhelmed. So I think we could probably learn a few tips
Yes,
and tricks from you as you navigate
absolutely. I
Disney.
will share
So
them all with you. You can always, private message me, but I do love to share them. I mean, that is I love it.
yes, I love that too. So, yeah, so thank you so much, Julie. Do you have any last words, to say to parents that are perhaps thinking about, homeschooling, unschooling, and seeing money as a primary object for them not to do it?
Yeah, you know, it's it's, I would just say follow your heart. You only get to raise your kids once. You only get this one life to live. Take a chance. I mean, what's the worst thing? We've all fallen. You'll get back up. There'll be another job that will hire you. There'll be a new avenue, but take the journey. If it's on your heart to homeschool your kids, follow Julietta. She's great at teaching unschooling. Is the first most important thing. You got to get out of that school mindset
Yes.
and explore the other option. If it's not, coming aboard and joining our journey, look for something else that can fill your void and bring that income in, that can allow you to do it. And what if, So I think that's huge. And I'm very thankful for your time, this interview. I'm very thankful for the people that, I'll get to meet through this interview. And, those I'll get to help, and those I'll get to have the opportunity to work with and show them how to reinvent themselves like
Love that.
I was showed.
Yes, fantastic. Just take the leap of faith, you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to Julie or myself. All of our information is going to be in the description of this video. We are very grateful for your time, for letting us share this opportunity, and for sharing this knowledge with you. So thank you so very much, Julie. Thank you for your time. I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
you.
much, guys.
Thank
I
you. I look
appreciate
forward to working with you in the future. And that's it, you guys, for the unschooling lifestyle of the video of this week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Thank